A very good morning to all the students of class 12th political science and students, welcome to the online classes here. As you know, in the last video I had given you some important reference notes and reference material which was provided by the CBSE along with the new revised syllabus. As we had already finished our 6 chapters according to the new syllabus, and our last chapter was globalization. We had finished that, and with that we had finished almost the 6 chapters which are being included in the new syllabus given by CBSE for this particular session. So today I am going to start your second book, that is part B, Politics in India since Independence. But before I start this particular book, that is part B of your syllabus, I would also like to tell you that once we finish this book, again we shall be taking up the first book. We will revise all the important topics and all the important questions which can come in your board exams and which are very important, and especially 1 marks question. So we shall be revising that. We shall be doing picture based question, map based questions, passage based questions. But now I'm going to start this particular book, but I also advise you to keep reading your NCERT books and keep revising the chapters which we have already done. So in this book, Politics in India since Independence, so mostly we will be reading about the political system and structure in India, politics, and how India moved on with the cultural, political and social impacts or the circumstances of our country, which was a very newly independent country. What were the major challenges on the ways of a country like India, which is having so much of diversity. So we will read everything about India and its journey after independence especially, and what were the difficult challenges which India has to face. So we will all do this in this particular part. So the very first chapter of our book, which is very obvious if we are talking about politics just after independence or since independence. So the first question arises, challenges of nation building. That is, after independence, what were the major challenges on the way of India becoming a democratic country, following a democratic form of government? What were the challenges to make a nation, to complete our nation, to integrate, bring unity in our nation, which was newly independent country. As we know, there were some very poor and painful circumstances during our independence period. As you know, there was a partition of India into 2 parts. One is called now Pakistan and India for Hindus. But before I start reading all these points under challenges of nation building, I want to give you a short introduction what all we are going to study in this chapter and but also in this book. So it is about the chapter which we are going to do in this particular book, first chapter. So the first few years in the life of independent India were full of challenges. So as we know, when we got the independence, first few years or our single decade was very challenging for a country like India. Some of the most pressing ones concerned national unity. The first challenge was national unity and territorial integrity of India. Why national? We are talking about national unity. As we know, India has a lot of diversity in terms of language, religion, culture, professions. So there was a concern, and people were most concerned after the independence. They required national unity and territorial integrity, as there were many princely states, and many princely states wanted to separate them from India. So there would have been so many small states coming up. So there was a problem of territorial integrity to make them combined and merge with Indian Union. We begin the story of politics in India since independence by looking at how 3 of these challenges of nation building were successfully negotiated in the first decade of 1947. That is, after 1947, for the next 10 years, what were the important challenges which India had to face, and successfully we were able to negotiate them. So what were the challenges? Freedom came with partition. This is very important. Although we got freedom in 1947, but along with it, it was a very painful, we can say, event in the Indian history, that is partition, which resulted in a large-scale violence and displacement. It was not only the partition of areas, geographical partition, but this was a very painful separation of people or between the separation between the different communities of Hindu and Muslim. It was led by large scale violence, displacement of people, and challenged the very idea of secular India. As we know, according to Constitution, we follow India is a secular state, but this was a challenge for the Constitution also, as there was a separation or partition of India on the basis of community, that is Hindu community and Muslim community. The integration of the princely states into Indian Union needed urgent resolution. So it was also a challenge for India to merge or integrate princely states into Indian Union, and this was very urgently needed just after the independence. The internal boundaries of the country needed to be drawn afresh, that is state boundaries were it was very important to draw the state boundaries, so there were no conflicts and tension between the people, among the people of the countries, because the citizens had different languages, so there was a very urgent need for the internal boundaries to be drawn within the country, as there were different people who spoke different languages. It's written here, in the next chapter we shall turn to other kinds of challenges faced by the country in this early phase. So in this chapter we shall be mainly focusing on the national unity, that is unity after the independence. It was very must for India to show its unity and integrity in its territory as well as among the citizens. And next challenges we will be reading in the other chapters. As you know, during the freedom struggle, you know, there were so many freedom fighters who had sacrificed their life so that we are free and independent today. We are living a very standard lifestyle just because of our freedom struggles, who laid down their lives for the our nation. So these are challenges for the new nation. What were the challenges for the new nation? As we know, going back to the history, at the hour of midnight, at the midnight of 1415, around 12 o'clock, August 1947, India attained independence. You know very well that we got independence on 14th and 15th midnight, that was August 1947. Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of Free India, he was the first Prime Minister after independence, addressed a special session of Constituent Assembly that night. There was a special session in which a speech was given by Jawaharlal Nehru. This was a famous 1 marks question can be there. What was the speech name? It was Traced with Destiny, a speech that was that you are familiar with. So if there was a question, which was a speech or name of the speech which Jawaharlal Nehru gave on the night of 15th August, so you will say Traced with Destiny. This was the moment Indians had been waiting for. So this was the moment, as you know, India was waiting for to be independent and a free country, because this was the very hard earned freedom which we got, and this we wanted to maintain this sovereignty in future. So you have read in your history textbook that there were many voices in our national movement. We have read in class 7th 8th also about the national movements or the freedom struggles, but there were two goals almost everyone agreed upon. All over India there was freedom struggle going on to gain independence, but two things were very common which every freedom struggle fighter wanted. It was that after independence we shall run our country through democratic government, that once we get the independence from the British rule, our government will be democratic form of government in which people will have the direct participation in the government activities. And second was, the government will be run for the good of all. The government will function for the good of all, and particularly it will work for the poor and socially disadvantaged group, or it will work for the upbringing of the minorities who are lacking behind. So now the country was independent. A time had come to realize promise of the freedom. But now the time had come. We were independent. We had got the freedom on 15th August 1947. Now it was the time for the freedom fighters who had promised this promise of freedom, that our people will have all the fundamental rights and they will be governed through the democratic form of government, and they will not face the problems which they were facing under the British rule. As we knew with our historical experience, the importance of we don't understand the importance of equality, freedom, okay, but those who were living under the colony, under the British rule, they very well knew the importance of freedom and equality and equal opportunities and no discrimination on the basis of race, gender, caste, religion. Okay, now moving forward. this was not going to be easy. India was born in a very difficult. If they are saying that now it was a time to make our promises true, which our freedom fighters had promised people to have democratic government and work for the good of all, and particularly poor and socially disadvantaged groups. But this was not going to be easy at all, because as you know, when India was born, it was a very difficult circumstances. The freedom was not a easy transfer of British power into Indian hands, because perhaps because of the partition, which was a very painful event in the history of India. Perhaps no other country in then has born in a situation more difficult than that of India. In that phase, in 1940s, 50s, 60s, there was no other country around the world who had got the freedom in such a difficult situation, okay, which India got in 1947. Freedom came with partition. This is important. Although India got freedom, people were happy. They got the freedom from the British Raj. We were independent and sovereign now. But along with it, there was a partition. Freedom came with partition of the country. Our country was divided into two halves. The year 1947 was a year of unprecedented. So if you talk about 1947, and if I talk about partition, this partition was had taken place because of the two-nation theory given by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was the leader of the Muslim League. They wanted a separate nation for the Muslim community, as they thought that Hindu community or the Hindu leaders of Congress did not give a lot of opportunities and did not work for the betterment and development and good lifestyle of the people of the minority Muslim community. So they wanted a complete separate nation. For that, they took the help from British Raj. Before British was transferring their power to Indian leaders, they had requested Britishers to give them a separate state, a separate nation for Muslims, which was called Pakistan. So the year 1947 was a year of unprecedented violence and trauma. So as it looked, it was not very easy to divide India into two halves. This partition led to lot of violence and trauma of displacement. People moved from one place to another. In fact, when partition already had taken place, people were not knowing whether they are part of Pakistan or they are part of India, because there was not a single area or people of Muslim community or were not evenly divided all in the territory of India. So there was a problem. It was in this situation that independent India started on its journey. So if I talk about the journey of India after being independent, it was very difficult, full of violence and displacement of people. And it started its journey to achieve several objectives. But still we had a lot of objectives which we had to achieve. Yet turmoils that accompanied the independence did not make our leaders lose sight. But along with the partition and the problem of violence, and there was so much of loss of life and property and imbalance in our country after independence, but still the leaders did not lose their sight. They had a basic structure and they wanted to follow it, and multiple challenges that faced the new nation. So there were so many challenges coming up which the new nation was facing, but still our leader did not lose any sight. They knew that we have to make a democratic country. It should be a secular country. There should be fundamental right. Our government should be democratic form of government. So just after independence, as we saw, freedom came with partition. So India faced three challenges, and we will read in this chapter what were the three challenges. Okay, so after independence, what were the three challenges coming up to India as a new independent state? Broadly, independent Indian faced three kinds of challenges. So the first, it's written here, the first and the immediate challenge means just after independence, what was the challenges was to shape a nation that was united. We had to build a structure of our country in such a way that it was united. It did not disintegrate into different communities and different groups, yet accompanied of diversity in our society. As we know, there is so much of diversity of caste, religion, culture, language in our society. So it was a challenge for the government and as a new nation to maintain the unity of our country. India was a land of continental size and diversity. In size also it is of a continental size, and lot of diversity you can see in the Indian society. Its people and the examples are, as people here spoke different languages and followed different cultures and religion. At that time, it was widely believed that country full of such kinds of diversity could not remain together for a long. So just after independence, many important and powerful countries around the world, they believed that if India continues to follow this secular system, secularism in their country, that they allow each and every religion to be propagated in their state, it will not survive for a long time. That India will be disintegrated into many small parts, into various communities and states. At that time, it was widely believed that a country full of such kind of diversity could not remain together for long. Okay, the partition of the country appeared to prove everyone's worst fear. The partition of the country appeared. So as people thought that India could not be united for a long time as there was so much of diversity, and this partition gave the clue that people were right about India, that it will not be able to survive for the long time, as after partition India was divided into two parts and Muslim community was separated from India. There were, but we are fortunate that after 70 years also our country is still united. We are living with brotherhood, we have equality, and we are following the secularism as well as democratic form of government. So moving forward, the partition of the country appeared to prove everyone was fear. There were serious questions about the future of India. So after partition, there were serious questions about the future of India, what India will be like in future. Would India survive as a unified country? People after the partition told, and many countries discussed, will India be able to be united? Would it do so by emphasizing national unity? If it will survive, will the national unity will be intact as it is and as it should be? Would it mean rejecting all religion? Will it reject all religion, regional and sub-national identities? And such were the questions after the partition of India about the future of India. These were the urgent questions. How was the integration of territory of India to be achieved? How we had to integrate India into a single nation? This was a challenge, and the very first challenge immediately after independence. And this was all because of the so much of diversity in the Indian society, and because of the partition, many countries and powerful countries, nations around the world, and political thinkers and political scientists thought that would India be able to survive for the long period of time because it had so much of diversity. Okay, so this was the first challenge which we will be reading in this particular book. What was the second challenge which India immediately faced after independence? The second challenge was establish democracy. First, it's written here, nation that united. That is about unity of India. And second is about establish democracy. So how India will establish democracy? As it was very clear before the independence also, our freedom fighters and Constituent Assembly and framers of the Constitution had already decided that our country will work on the democracy. You have already studied Indian Constitution, you have already read in class 11th also. You know that the Constitution granted fundamental rights. In that, fundamental rights are given to every citizen, irrespective or without any discrimination on the basis of their caste, religion, language, etc. Everyone is equal in front of the law, eyes of law and Constitution. And extended the right of vote to every citizen. Every citizen is getting the right to vote also, fundamental right also. India adopted representative democracy based on the parliamentary. So the system, political system which India adopted according to the Constitution was democratic in manner, and it followed parliamentary form of government, in which president is the head of the state and prime minister is the head of the government. This is parliamentary form of government. These features ensures that a political competition would take place in the democratic framework. So in this, we would say that these features, if we follow the parliamentary, it means there will be two houses, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and there will be opposition. So there would be a proper democratic framework in our country. A democratic constitution is necessary but not sufficient. They are saying a constitution in democracy is important and is necessary but not sufficient. It is not sufficient. Why? Till these democratic constitution and rules and provisions and articles which are mentioned in the constitution, till they are not implemented and practically worked on, it would be useless. So it's written here, the challenge was to develop democratic practices. It is good that we are having a democratic constitution, but it was not necessary very sufficient. So what it was important? It was important to develop democratic practices. It should be brought into practices in accordance, but according to the constitution. So according to the constitution, all the rules, policies, plans should be brought up into the practices for a country to be democratic. So this was the second, to bring democracy in a country. So this was a challenge in front of the Indian government just after independence, to be democratic. And the third challenge was to ensure development. So I hope the first was unity. I'm writing here. First challenge was unity of our nation. Okay, or we can say, yes, or integrity. Second was democracy. And third was development. So if a question comes that what were the three challenges which immediately India faced after independence, so you will have to discuss unity and integrity of Indian state, and democracy as a challenge for the new independent state like India, and you will also have to relate this democracy with the Constituent Assembly, which was framed and whose work had already been started before the independence, and of course the development in terms of economy, eradicating poverty, unemployment, and disparity and discrimination among the minority section or community of our society. So if you discuss all these 3 points, you will get good marks. So here I am discussing the third challenge, which is development. The third challenge was to ensure development and well-being of the entire society. Here, the work of India, according to the if we were working according to democracy, it was important that we were looking for the welfare of the whole society, not only the few communities and not only some sections. Here again, the constitution clearly laid down the principle equality. So working here on development, it was very clearly laid down by the constitution principle of equality and special protection. And special protection was given to socially disadvantaged groups and religious cultural communities. So we have to bring these backward societies up. They were lacking behind. The constitution also set out the directive principles. We were working according to the constitution, so we have read in class 11th directive principles of state policy, according to which every government has certain functions to look after the welfare of the people and society. Democratic politics in the real challenge now was to evolve effective policies of economics. So the real challenge, we would say, after unity and democracy was to develop our society in terms of economy and look after the people who were lacking behind and eradicate poverty, unemployment, but also evolve effective policies. We had to make many effective policies and plans and make rules and regulations for economic development. Anyhow, we wanted economic development. If we had to grow and we had to move with the existing world, we had to grow our economy. Okay, so and we had to become strong politically, socially, culturally, and also we had to remove poverty and unemployed from our country. This was a basic and must needed thing just after independence. So here, how did independent India respond to these challenges? To what extent did India succeed in achieving the various objectives set out by the constitution? This entire book is an attempt to respond to these questions. So whatever we will be reading in this entire book, in all the chapters, what will be the questions mostly? How did independent India respond to these challenges? The 3 challenges we had read here: unity, integrity, democracy, and development. How India responded to these challenges? What was the result when India were facing these challenges? To what extent did India succeed? Did India succeed in achieving these objectives or not? Did we accept these challenges properly or not? So we will be reading this in entire book. The book tells us the story of politics in India since independence. So this book will be a story book that is for the politics in India after independence. After independence period, how the politics have gone in India. So as to equip you develop your answer to the questions. Okay, so now here in this chapter, not talking about this particular chapter, I'm not talking about the book. In this chapter, we focus on first challenge. So we will not read all the 3 challenges in this particular chapter, but we will take the first challenge. And what was the first challenge I told you? That is about unity and integrity. So first challenge of nation building. If we are talking about unity and integrity, it means I am trying to build a nation. To building a nation, we want equality. To how we can get equality. So first chapter will be only reading about nation building, or we can say unity and integrity of Indian states, that occupied central stage in the years immediately. So just after independence, immediately this was the central stage. The most important thing was nation building, bringing unity among the people. We begin by looking at the events that form the context of independence. This can help us understand why the issue of nation building and security. So the most important thing after independence was national unity and security. This was primary challenge at the time of independence. So very first challenge. So in this particular chapter, we will be reading only about primary challenge, that was national unity and security of India. We shall then see how India chose to shape itself into nation, united by the shared history and common destiny. This unity had to reflect the aspiration of people across the different religions and deal with the disparities that existed among religions and different sections of the people. But in this chapter, we are reading about national unity. But in the next 2 chapters, we will read and turn about the next 2 challenges. What are the next 2 challenges? That is about democracy and development. We will read in the next 2 chapters. But in this chapter, we will take only first challenge, that is nation building, or we can say unity. So in the next video, I will be moving forward with this particular challenge, that what was the first challenge of to India just after independence or immediately after independence, that was nation building. So we shall be doing in the next part about partition. That was the first step to nation building. Till then, thank you.